all my children are well and healthy, and all my students are in the best of their health. Today, through this video of mine, I have decided to shoot something in a very different way. Today I have taken up storytelling, the art of storytelling. So I would be discussing the art of storytelling. And children, the art of storytelling is one of those activities through which a chapter or literary work can be discussed. And once you become expert in the art of storytelling, it helps you in lot many ways, because for telling the story you need to finish a story from in one go, starting from the first line till the last line of the story. And it really makes you more imaginative and enterprising, and it takes your communication skill to a next level. And don't forget, children, that speaking skill is a part of your curriculum, because 20 marks is allotted and it's fixed for speaking and listening skill. So once you learn this art, it helps you, and it aptly goes, and it would not be exaggerating if we say it is like storytelling is like killing two birds with single stone. It helps you to get good marks in your subject, and it also helps you to have confidence and speak fluently in your speaking assessment. Today I have decided to shoot the video of mine, not within the classroom, going outside the classroom, because today I won't be doing any writing work. And since it is art of storytelling, so the first chapter of your Flamingo book, that is the last lesson, I would be narrating you the story through this video. In the first video of mine, I have all discussed the background and the characters and the themes of the story. So today I would simply narrate you the story. And the story is in the form of a first person singular number narration through the mouth of Franz. But I would narrate you in the form of in third person singular number. So one day Franz was out for the school. Since he had not learned his lessons given to him on participle, so he was in great dread of getting scolded. And it was not that he had the fear to get that he would get scolded, but there were so many other factors which kept him outside the school. Like the weather was very bright and warm, birds were chirping, and the Prussian soldiers were drilling. So all these three activities were more tempting than learning the rules of participles. But then I would say that Franz had that strength to resist the temptation, and very soon he decided to go for the school, and then he started rushing for the school. Now when he was passing through the town hall, he saw a great crowd gathered before the bulletin board. And then he thought to himself, what was next? Because all the bad news came through that bulletin board, like the battle lost and the draft and all that. And then without wasting any time, he went on, and then when he was heading, there he met the blacksmith, the watcher. The blacksmith was reading the bulletin with his apprentice, and the blacksmith made a remarks. He called him, Bub, why are you running? You will reach school in plenty of time. Now Franz did not understand remarks of him, because he was already late, and then he did not understand why the blacksmith said so. But still he moved on, and then he crossed the garden of his teacher Hamel, and from there through the window he could see his friends being seated in their places, and his teacher Hamel pacing up and down the classroom. But there on that day there was silence like the Sunday morning. On other days there was great bustle. There was sound of students reading their lessons in unison, students opening and closing their desks, and the teacher's ruler tapping. But on that day, there was no any such sound. And initially, friends had the plan that he would sneak into the class without getting noticed by the teacher because of all these commotions and noise. But there was no such noise. So when he stood at the door, the teacher simply allowed him to come in very politely, which which friend had never expected. Now French went into his class and made himself seated, and it took him some time to notice the differences in the class. After some time, he noticed that the back benches of the class were occupied by the elderly members of the village. Among them, there was former postmaster and former mayor. And after some time, friends also noticed that his teacher had got himself dressed in his green shirt, green coat, frilled shirt, and black silken cap. After some time, his teacher made an announcement that from the next day they would be taught German in place of French. Now this announcement was like a thundering to the ears of friends, and that announcement brought a lot of change in his attitude for his subject and for his teacher. Before this, he never liked studying French, nor did he like his teacher. But as soon as he came to know that from tomorrow he won't get to read and study anything about French, all of a sudden he developed a great liking and interest for his subject. And then M. Hamel was so particular on that day that he wanted to teach everything he knew just in one day. He did not want to waste even a single moment of time. And then he made very particular that he asked all the students about the work which he had given the previous day. And when it was the time for friends to stand and answer his work on the participle, he failed to speak even a single word. And then he cursed himself that why he had not been careful about learning French and why he had never paid any attention for French. Now, after that, his teacher M. Hamel went on praising the subject and the language French. He called it the most beautiful language of the world, and he also said that it is the most logical language. He also said when a people are enslaved, as long as the people hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. After having done that, now on that day, his teacher M. Hamel he brought certain notebooks to be distributed among students, and on the top of the notebooks it was written in a very beautiful handwriting, France, Alsace, France, Alsace. And after that, he had taken the writing portion, and when the students were busy in writing, and whenever M. Hamel picked his head and had a view on his teacher, he found his teacher looking at the different part of the classroom, because it was the same school where M. Hamel had spent 40 years of his service. Beside, through the window, he could see his garden, where there were trees which had grown very tall over the years of 40 years. And after that, it was also seen that elderly members of the village who were there to attend the class, they had also become very emotional, and they were also listening to the class. And M. Hamel, at this point of the story, M. Hamel also criticized and rebuked the people for not sending their children to school and keeping them engaged for their village work, for the field work. And at one point of time, even M. Hamel reproached himself, even he criticized himself, blamed himself, because sometime when he had to go for fishing, he declared the school a holiday. And sometime he also sent his children for watering the plants of his garden. So for all this thing, he also blamed himself. And after writing, he took the history, and by this way the class went on and went on and went on, and by this by coming to this, we slowly drift towards the conclusion of the story, climax of the story. And here, coming to this part of the story, we see that because M. Hamel becomes so emotional that he was unable to speak anything, and his voice got choked, and then he mounted on the platform, and then he went up to the blackboard. He took a piece of chalk, and then he wrote on the board, "Vive la France," and then he was unable to speak even a single sentence, and through his body gestures he dismissed the class, and simply he bent his head towards the wall. So this was the story, and I think this will help you to have a complete information of the story. And I should also encourage you people to go the art of learning storytelling. Thank you, children. Thank you. God bless you.